When people want like ask questions that are like important to their life, like every once in a while somebody's like, "Hey, I got a big question. I'm making like this huge life decision. What do you think, Matt?" I don't just think being like, "Oh, poggers, like do it, lol." I don't think that's a good response. So I try to be serious with those. So when people are like, "Oh, I want to be a game designer," I try to give them like, "Hey, if you do this, cool. Be aware of these things." So I went to college for the or shouldn't have said that. I went to the Art Institute for 3D game stuff. I enjoyed making 3D art in college, and then I graduated, and then I got a internship. And it was a paid internship. It was basically just a job, but they put internship in it. So I was essentially just a 3D artist for that job. And then I would go to work. I would do 3D art for 8 hours. And the thing about being an artist, any artist, it doesn't matter what you're doing, is you have to have a portfolio. And the portfolio always has to be updated every single day. Not every single day, but it has to be as updated as humanly possible. And there's a big thing in the game industry where it's like you're not allowed to just stop doing work, like after work. You're supposed to go home and you're supposed to continue doing work for to, you know, hone your craft, even if you're a coder, even if you're an artist, even if you're a game designer. Everybody sort of tries to peer pressure you into doing more work after work. They'll be like, "Oh, what personal projects are you working on?" And you have to be like, "Oh yeah, every day I put in 4 hours because I'm an epic person." You have to be very inspiring for everybody. And you know, in college, that's all right, because it's like, hey, I need a degree and stuff. Like, there's a reason to. But like after college, you go to work, you work for 8 hours, and then you're just like, fuck, dude, I just want to eat a Baconator and watch freaking Narutoads. I want to watch Narutoads all day. And then you're supposed to do that for until you retire, and it sucks. Supposed to just keep doing nothing but make 3D art, and it eventually becomes unfun because it's just a job then. As a professional streamer, you're basically an artist and a showmaster, like a TV host or at a theater. It must be horrible. Yeah, for streamers, it's just like, yeah, it's just the constant fear of like, what if people stop liking you? What if you say that one bad word? And it doesn't even have to be like something like super, super bad, but like you could just say like a sentence, and if the right person decides like they don't like you enough, they could just take that one sentence. You could be like, "I hate hamburgers." And that could be the end of your career. You'll just instantly get canceled. Streamer hates hamburgers. Cancel him. I don't know. It's interesting. And then they always have to be aware of, like, how do I do new things so I don't get forgotten? Which is a bit of an issue for TF2 player streamers, is like, how do you grow your platform after the first 1,000 like viewers? Because essentially after 1,000 followers on Team Fortress 2, you've kind of, yeah, everybody kind of already knows you after that. Like, to a small extent, everybody knows Joel the Mole. Everybody knows, you know, Yarmek, Yanksy. If you play TF2 and you like streamers, like, you know those people to a small extent, or to a large extent. It varies. So you've now gained like all the people that you've already gained from TF2. So what do? You can try playing another game, but then you lose all like 90% of your TF2 followers. You'll get some people that will pop in and will be like, "Hey, hey, hey." Other than that, that's it. And it's just a challenge. Like, the people that actually try to make streaming their career eventually have to make a choice of like, I'm doing the same thing over and over again, and it's still getting me some followers, but the followers aren't what like pay the bills. Like, you have to figure out like, how do I bring in more people than I normally was? Must be horrible. Or you get fed up with all the games and the viewers. That's what would happen to me after like 3 weeks. Yeah. That's the other thing too, is like, there's always that chance where you just get angry at like one person, and then it's like, I don't want to stream anymore. That's a big thing with new streamers too. If anybody here ever wants to get into streaming, the biggest tip that I have is like, have a limit of like what you're willing to deal with the viewers. There's no issue with banning people or like timing them out. Like, don't feel bad because some guy's being a dick to you. I see that a lot, where somebody will like just start harassing a streamer that's like new, and the streamer will be like, "Oh, he's like the only person viewing me. Like, I can't just yell at him and like ban him. It's my one viewer." Like, don't get into that idea. That's just how you get abused, basically. This is very jolly music for what became a very serious conversation. I'm so sorry. This is serious discussion only. Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, it's the same, like, if you want to be a streamer, like, I truly think most people can become a full-time streamer, but I think the time it takes to get to that level is very high. Like, I think Yarmex, like, a lot of people I've seen on Twitch have kind of been like, Yarmex streams 24 hours a lot, and that's kind of bad. And you're sort of right. It is bad, but on terms of, like, I think he said his goal is to be a full-time streamer. Like, you sort of have to do that early on if you want to, like, the goal of becoming a full-time streamer is you need to sprint through that very long gap of not getting money until you get enough money to, like, pay rent and stuff. So in that aspect, like, he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. Like, that's what you have to do. If you truly want to be paid and, like, live off of Twitch, like, you have to make some type of, like, harsh commitment. In the same way of, like, when you go to college, you are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to get this thing that lets you do that job, which is the same way, where you need to commit, you know, probably way more than 10,000 hours to, just to hopefully get enough viewers that like you. And even then, it's not guaranteed. Can't imagine life without Twitch at this point. I like streaming. I like... For me, Twitch is one of the few places where, like, I can talk and, like, the only person interrupting me is me. So it's nice to let me ramble off without somebody being like, hey, Matt, your conversation is dumb. I'm gonna change the subject. I'll be like, okay. I don't watch anything but TF2, which is fair. It's not like, I'm not blaming you for anything. If you like watching TF2, like, watch TF2. I wouldn't call it full-timing TF2 if you can't afford to pay rent. Maybe he can. Maybe he's got, like, enough subs. But, like, I've done the math. You need, like... At least where I live, I would need 700 subs. Let me do the math, actually. So, like, in my mind, I want to get paid, like, $2,000 a month. If I could get paid $2,000 a month, I'd be, like, comfortable. That's like, $24,000? $24,000. Because 2,000 times 12 is 24. So in order to do that, just in subs, we're going to assume subs are $2.50, is how much the, I'm actually doing this wrong because of taxes, but we'll assume that you get $2.50 for every sub. If you have 700 subs, for 2,000 a month, you need 800 subs. That's not taken into donations or ads and stuff, but that should be a pretty good base runner. And the big thing is, that's not even actually correct. Because the way taxes work when you're a Twitch streamer is you get taxed more than a normal person. Because what you're doing... Oh, I think Twitch fixed this, though. I'll have to look this up. But I believe you get paid less, you get taxed more because you're Twitch streaming, and you're technically a single entity. Like, this is essentially your business. But I think Twitch has fixed this. Either way, you owe money to the government. No matter what, you owe money to the government. Because I don't believe Twitch is taking out taxes when they pay you. And if you're getting paid about $2,000 a month, it's generally a rule to take about 25% of that and assume it's taxes. So that's $500 a month. So they're taking $6,000 away from you. So you're getting paid... You're just making $15,000 a year. So you're going to need way more than that. You probably just straight up need 1,000 subs, and if you don't have 1,000 subs, whatever you're doing is not gonna work. Unless your frickin' viewers are, like, rich. If you're getting, like, $100 in donations every day, that can offset the subs. But then the question is, like, if your viewers are donating you $100 every day, why aren't they subbed to you? Like, that goal should still be a requirement. You know, everybody thinks about it. Like, whenever somebody's streaming, like, you always hear this. Whenever you hear somebody streaming and people are talking about, hey, what do you want your Twitch? They always go, I just want it to be fun. It's not about whether I become famous or not. I just like streaming. And, like, they're right. Like, when they say that, they're not lying. Like, you have to like streaming if you're streaming. If you don't, like, what are you doing? But in the back of their head, like, everybody thinks about it. Like, what if I become the new Moon? What if I become like XQC or the Ninja? I'm too old for that shit anyways, but even if I were younger, I think I'd not try that career. It's always worth, like, if you're interested, just do it. What's weird is that 100,000 bits is equivalent to about 5 subs. 1,000 bits is 10 bucks, right? Well, there's EU currency and stuff, but yeah, 1,000. I believe 1 bit is 1 penny. So yeah, 1,000 bits is 10 bucks, even though that costs 25 bucks. That's why I prefer bits over subs. Yeah, the whole bits thing just always seemed like a weird scam to me. Like I do like small bit donations, but I tend to try to avoid it. Subs are the bigger ripoff. It's like, yeah, basically like 50% of the income is sent to Twitch for subs. And then bits, I think it's 25%? It's something like that. Like 500 bits. If you spend $5 on bits, you get like 400 bits. It's something like that. It's like a 25, it's like a 1-to-5 ratio or something. Subs are the bigger ripoff. 136 is for 100 bits here, and obviously Twitch takes 30p. Well, bits are like 140 cents. Okay, gotcha. Note to self. Do more bits. I just blew up my entrance because I'm ranting. And then there's the whole donations, like straight donations. Like I've got my donation thing for I think it's Streamlabs that's connected to it, but what are you doing? The big thing is it goes through PayPal, and after $1,000, you are required to have a business account on PayPal. So you can get $1,000 in donations from Twitch on PayPal without having to worry about anything. I mean, you still have to take it into account for tax seasons and stuff, but once you hit over $1,000, you're no longer considered like a charity, or you're no longer doing it for a regular personal benefit, and you need to pay for a business account. Which isn't much, and it probably offsets the ripoff of Twitch, but it's still something. Like, in order to get money, you have to have this account that costs money to even own. It's kind of shitty. I don't know. It's just a lot of stuff that is stacked up against anybody trying to be a content creator. Like, that's not even considering the fact that there are trillions of people also trying to do the same thing at the same time, so the competition is high. Subs are bad for streamer income-wise, but people get emote bits. Bits are bad for viewers except for the badge, but good for streamers. Yeah, okay. You know what? I was gonna say the same thing. Direct donations are good for streamers, but viewers don't get badges and whatnot. They all have upsides and downsides. I agree. I've always considered the highlight of bits and base donations, oh, guess I'll die, to be text-to-speech, like, funny shenanigans like that. Like, all of those have a sound effect, generally, if you're, like, a regular streamer man guy dude. Like, they all come with some type of, like, oh, happy, funny sound effect clip. But the bits and donations always have, or generally have a text-to-speech thing. I always like those. Like, if you go to or I think it's XQC has it. If you go to XQC's channel, it's filled with constant text-to-speak, like, lol, 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 you suck, NG dead, NG dead, NG dead, lol, 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 lol. And that's like, that's the theme. That's the thrill of it. PayPal also gives you real name away. I'm not really into that. You know what? I saw that too. And I wasn't too sure how I felt about that. Because I think Joel, you did a donation once, and I was like, oh, okay, that's probably something that shouldn't be available. Does it give away, like, I think if you do it through Streamlabs, it might hide your name. No, because it still goes through PayPal. I'm not really sure about that. I know Streamlabs does something. I think the money goes to Streamlabs, and then Streamlabs sends it to my PayPal. So it might hide the name. I don't really know. Streamlabs donor is just a regular PayPal donation. I did it before. Gotcha. I always thought there was something that made it better. Maybe it's just the fact that it's easier to set up. But yeah, I guess what I was getting at is it's very hard to be a full-time streamer. And I question when people say they're full-time streamer and they're not getting paid what I consider a full-time amount of money. The other thing about Twitch, like, the other real thing about Twitch is if you truly want Twitch to be a full-time thing, you have to make YouTube videos. You have to do, like, other stuff. I try to do YouTube stuff. I do it part-time. Like, everything I do for this channel is kind of just, like, hey, I have nothing to do today besides watch anime and be a weeb. I guess I'll work on this. But I mean, like, looking at my channel, like, the biggest thing for my channel that suffered is, one, I stutter and I'm a nerd a lot. Two, I typically only stream on Fridays. That's like, I will basically never be a full-time streamer because of that aspect. Just fine. But I wish I was. Unless, like, my YouTube pops off, I guess, but I don't see that going. I like the YouTube channel, the videos I make, they could be better. I could edit more and do more, but I'm lazy. And there's a lot of videos that I make where I'm like, these are bad, but I need to put something out, so I'm going to. I would say the zombie blood video is not bad, though. I would say I dislike it, not like looking at it again. But I refuse to acknowledge that it's bad, because I think it's a little funny at times. Any video that I make that makes me go, haha, for like 1 second, I'm like, this was worth it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else for Twitch YouTube stuff. I think we wrapped up, like, the harshness of it. Like, the positive of it is, like, once you get to a certain amount of people, like, you do get a little bit of income. It's not really worth, like, it doesn't... It depends how you think about it. But, like, I think... I'm just gonna, like, guess for Joel and, like, Yarrow and pretty much Yanksy and, like, all of them. But if I had to guess, like, they probably do get, like, the Twitch paycheck every once in a while. Like, it's nothing to shy about. Does it technically pay for the electricity that you use while streaming? Maybe. Probably not. I'm not really sure. I think it pays for mine now that I think about it. I'll have to look up my electric bill. You know what? I'm gonna do that. I don't know. Let's see. I stream... So my electricity bill was $60. Let's assume it was in a month with 30 days, so divide by 30. It's $2 a day. I stream... Yeah, okay, it was worth it. Yeah. I stream around once a week. So for 4 days. So as long as I get a Twitch paycheck like once a year, it pays for the electric bill. So there you go. Like it's a little bit of money, you know. It's a couple of Baconators from Wednesdays. I'm just trying to stream close to daily at this point to see how far I can go. If I get money out of it, it's a bonus. I agree. Like if you have the ability to stream every day while also able to live your life, I would 100% recommend doing it. Like, I feel like I could stream every day. Not every day, that's just not possible. I have too many friends that always just, oh, we wanna talk to you, man. Oh, we wanna socialize. We're your friends. Oh, we care about you. All that garbage. Hey, Matt, how are you doing? Pretty good. I'm just shit-talking my friends in real life. I think I could do 5 times. I could probably stream 5 times a week. But I would be miserable on some of those days. And it would only be for like an hour. And I just kind of prefer to do it on Fridays, where it's like, Friday is my day off. I don't have anything to do. Everybody else is working in my friend group. I can just sit down, relax, chill out with you guys. And then any other day is extra. I'm sure that it can be addicting too when you first gain a respectable audience. I think it depends on the person. Pachoo! Does this not soak up the Dragon's Fury? Pachoo! Pachoo! He's got a shotgun. I think it does get that way. Like, if you get viewers that, like, you can resonate with. You can resonate. They get ya. When I say, haha, nachos with cheese are good, and my viewers are like, hell yeah! Then I'm like, yeah, I'm addicted now. They like nachos just like me. It's my community. But the S-ing sure must feel good. I think it depends on the person. I don't like getting... I'm bad when I get compliments. Like, I don't know what to do when people say, like, oh, hey, I like your content. Like, you're supposed to just say thank you, but I'm like, what if they're like, people giving me compliments, what do I do? It scares me, Mom. Trying to avoid looking at my Twitch numbers now. As if I have a bad day, it can put me off, but then again, when you get a really good stream, it feels great. Yeah. I always have my viewer list hidden, and I've been doing this lately, and it's a really bad habit. Every once in a while, I look at the number of followers I have, And I'm always just like, it's not up 100 more followers. Why aren't there 100 more followers? I need 10,000 more followers from this one stream that had 8 people. I'm Ronald Reagan and I want followers. But typically, I when I stream, I always have the viewer amount hidden. Mostly because if I see the viewer is like, nobody's watching, I'll get all quiet and mopey. But when it's hidden, I just assume like, oh yeah, there's probably like, I don't know. I always assume there's at least 4 people. And if there's 4 people, like, I should be talking to them. And if I'm not talking to them, I should be rambling at them about something. That man refused to acknowledge my existence. That man did, and he's dead. In terms of my streaming career, I'm kind of just like, you know, I stream on Fridays. Like I said, I pretty much stream once every Friday. And my, you know, it's been growing based off of that, which I think it's fine. People still pop in and they go, hey, Matt, you're still a living entity. And I'm like, haha, I am living, aren't I? I was really proud. I feel bad because I don't remember their name off the top of my head. But somebody, like, 3 weeks ago came in. And they're like, hey, Matt, I haven't seen you in, like, 3 months. How's it going? I was like, oh, yeah, it's going good. And he's like, hey, where's the crab cakes? I was like, excuse me? You know the crab cakes? He's like, yeah, you told the story about how your dad says he really wants crab cakes, but he doesn't really like them. And I was like, holy shit. People remember the stupid things I say. That's a feel-good moment for me. That's where I'm like, oh, when I say stupid shit, people do remember. That's insane. But I was very happy that even though that person hasn't been watching me for like a long period of time, it made me feel good that they came back after so long and they were like, yes, I remember you. You said this one thing. Especially on a stream. Like, there's no video that he could go back to and be like, oh yeah, here's the conversation he had. Like, they just remembered that. It feels good to be remembered. It feels good to shoot a demo man in the face.